Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The New World. And in today's video, we discuss once again the ongoing heated back and forth between Heat star Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat organization, mainly Pat Riley. But before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 10K subs. Turn on those notifications to stay tuned for more content. And comment who you think is in the wrong and who's winning this ongoing battle to get Jimmy Butler out of Miami. Now, from what I've seen, he just got suspended this past week for 2 games for being late. And it's alleged that Channing Frye said he had a source that said he was like hours. They were waiting on him for hours. I don't really know how true that is. I don't know. I think this stuff is kind of getting out of hand. It really is. Like, I don't really see why he's really still a Miami Heat player. This dude is definitely voiced his opinion that he doesn't want to be there. He had on the shoes that had like the Phoenix Sun colorway. It's really just a pride battle between Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler. Let's be honest here. That's really what it is. It definitely seems like both people are kind of at fault. Like Jimmy Butler, I didn't even know this before. As far as the whole not being with the team thing, throughout his time being with Miami Heat, he's had his own private flights, and then he stays in his own Airbnb. Now I don't know if there's a specific reason for that, but for someone who doesn't have a problem with the team, I don't really see why you can't join the team on the flight or the team hotel. Like, I don't get what's going on there. And then Pat Riley, I don't see why you don't sit Jimmy Butler down, because, you know, if he get hurt, that's going to hurt you even more with your pockets. Like, the situation is definitely getting blown out of proportion because they had a deal set up. From what I'm looking at it like, I really don't think that Pat Riley's going to allow Jimmy Butler to go where he wants to go, and that is the Phoenix Suns. And one thing, I don't like how Jimmy Butler just dissing my team like that, the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, I get it. You know, you said you don't want to be at Memphis. That's cool. But I don't like how you dissing us like that. Like, we ain't third in the West. But you can go ahead and join Phoenix. You know, they like the 9th seed. You know, you can enjoy it. You know, probably playing in the play-in, something like that. You can enjoy that. Meanwhile, we going to keep winning. But it's cool, though. But Miami, like, yeah, this whole situation is really just a pride battle. Like, I really don't see why Miami shouldn't just sit him out. I really think that's like the best thing for him, because honestly, if Pat Riley ain't going to let him go to Phoenix, then there's really no point in him playing this year. And if I'm Jimmy Butler, you shouldn't be doing all this stuff that's making you lose money, because he's lost by like, almost $10 million off of the stuff he's been doing. So both of them are kind of making dumb decisions, but it seems like they don't really care about making dumb decisions because of their pride. Whoever gives in first, they feel like they lost. So however long this is going to keep on going for, something needs to be done, because Jimmy Butler don't want to stay in Miami, and he don't need to be in Miami. Because honestly, from the way he's going, I actually like what they did with their first round pick, Khalil Ware. They need to focus on him, because that brother be hooping. And then he got a tough nickname, the Kryptonian. That's tough. That brother is nice. They might as well just forget about Jimmy Butler as a whole. Just focus on your young talent for now, because Jimmy Butler, he's really just been a distraction. This whole entire situation has been a distraction. So Pat Riley, just get rid of the brother. I know you're trying to get some value out of him, but from what like sources have been saying, it's not a lot of value that you are getting from him. So I don't know. You just got to find something to get the brother out of there, because you don't want to be there, and he's really distracting your team.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I agree with you in this regard is the statement about this being a battle of pride. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Succession. It's a show about business. As the great Logan Roy said, sometimes when it comes to business, it is a big dig competition. It's about who has the bigger balls. And at this point, Jimmy Butler really, really believes that he can win a battle of pride with Pat Riley. He's not going to win. I do want to preface my comments by saying this. I think that you guys are really missing the point. Jimmy Butler has done a lot for this team, the Miami Heat. They've been to the finals twice. He is getting paid this season $48.7 million. You look at the Miami Heat's salary cap, that's about 26% of the cap. I know people don't want to hear about the financials, but this is what Pat Riley is thinking. So you're the highest paid player on my team. You're the 11th highest paid player in the NBA this season. And next season, you're going to be the 14th highest paid. So you have a player option through 2026. This situation is about money. I don't want to hear anything about Jimmy Butler when he talked about losing his joy for the game. He lost his joy because he didn't get a contract extension. So anytime I'm hearing about different things, and Jalen kind of made a pretty good point about the Grizzlies, that's how you know this dude doesn't care about winning. You want to go to Phoenix, who's 9th or 10th in the West, but a team like Memphis has shown interest in you, even though you are a devaluing player. You're on the decline. teams that are winning right now and that have potential. Because even if you go to the Suns and you make a deep playoff run, Kevin Durant is 36 and Devin Booker is about to hit that 30 spot. So he's gonna get to the point where he's on the back end of his prime. So, and you're not a spring chicken either. Whereas John Morant, not even 25. And they got a lot of young talent on that team with Triple J and Desmond Bain. And you don't want to go there. You want to go to Phoenix because it's on the West Coast, a high profile city, a lot of great real estate. I get it, but stop talking about winning. So let's circle back to Pat Riley. There's not a good trade available. You're going to have to integrate 5 or 6 teams, which makes it more difficult because people need to also understand the trade deadline is February 6th. They got about less than 10 days. They got about 10 days to make a deal done. A deal involving 5 or 6 franchises doesn't get done in 10 days. It doesn't. So if the Miami Heat organization is looking at it like this, okay, we're not going to win a championship this year. We're not. Even if Jimmy Butler was happy as can be, we're not going to win a damn championship. We got some young pieces. I agree with Jay. You know, they got young talent on that team. Tyler Hero's also stepping up in his game. He's evolving. So what Jimmy Butler is doing is derailing some of the potential, some of the growth from these young players. I get that. But if we're not going to win, regardless of what happens, and we're not getting a good package if we move from Jimmy Butler, and if I'm Pat Riley, I'm not trading none of my high-profile draft picks for Jimmy Butler to make Jimmy Butler happy. So if a good deal is not coming to the table, Jimmy Butler is really the only guy that's being affected as this goes on. Is Pat Riley going to lose his job? No. Is Eric Spoelstra going to lose his job? No. This team is going to be fine. Yeah, they may have some negativity in the headlines for a few months. Pat Riley is one of the greatest basketball and business minds the NBA has ever seen. He is going to be fine. He can deal with a little controversy for a few more months. He's looking at what is the cost benefit of the situation. Cost benefit is that this guy, if he continues to be a malcontent, we're going to continue to suspend his ass. We're going to continue to suspend him, and he is going to lose money. We don't have to pay him. And it doesn't matter what team he goes to. Next season, he's going to make $52 million. That will be the last time he ever sees money like that, because any team he goes to is not going to give him a big bag. They're not. And Jimmy Butler realized that in the offseason when he's like, damn, I done all this for this franchise. We done been to 2 finals and you don't want to give me an extension, because that's the only team that was going to give him that type of money. And Pat Riley said, dude, you are 34, 35. You're not even available in the regular season. Why am I going to give you more money? It makes no business sense. And that's what I really want you guys to understand. It's about business. Did Pat Riley, was he not able to get guys like Kevin Durant and Dame? Sure. Absolutely. He wasn't able to get those guys. But I think he is factoring into the standpoint of, we also got a lot of good young talent. They've been able to draft very well. And that doesn't happen for all these NBA franchises. You see, teams like OKC and Memphis, they're able to draft really well. But one thing that I've learned is that when you uproot your own talent, like in the MLB with the farming system, their potential is greater than just trying to get some older superstar player. And I got to give you all of my assets. I basically have to compromise on my future to get a Kevin Durant, who we don't know if he's going to be happy, because if these guys don't win championships in that first year, they want to leave again. So why would I want to get a Damian Lillard when I got all this young talent on my team? And Damian Lillard's going to be commanding $50+ million. And I got all these guys on cheaper deals. That's how y'all need to think. Y'all got to think about the business aspect of it. Pat Riley is in the market of winning championships first. If he can't do that, how do we continue to be a profitable organization? So if I'm Pat Riley, Jimmy Butler, keep on crying, keep on bitching and complaining. I'm not giving you a contract, and I'm not trading you unless I want to get dollars on the dollar. I'm not taking pennies on the dollar to trade this guy to a situation that he wants to be in when he doesn't want to show up to work. Because that really is my biggest frustration. These guys don't want to show up to work. You are an employee. You are an NBA player. Pat Riley is your boss. He's your superior. These guys think that they're on the same level. They're on equal footing with management and senior management and ownership, and they're not. They're not. You are a glorified commodity, a glorified asset. That is it. Guys like Jimmy Butler are going to come from years and years upon. But Pat Riley, he is going to stay in that position. So That's how we need to think, because that is how Pat Riley is thinking. Because at the end of the day, Pat Riley going to continue to cut them checks and he's going to continue to make that bread. Whereas Jimmy Butler is probably done in about 1 to 2 years. And when he's 37, 38, he's going to be on one of these podcasts talking about, oh, they treated me bad, but his ass is going to be out of the league. Whereas Pat Riley is continuing to manage and operate his business and compete for championships in the future. Because I believe with a guy that's intelligent as Pat Riley is and as successful as Pat Riley is, they will eventually get to that point. And they also they also have one of the better coaches in the league. Pat Riley is a very stout person. He's looking at it like, man, they kind of trying to kill me in the media. I'll take that L because that shit is nothing. Nothing to Pat Riley, who's been in the game for 40 plus years. It is nothing. So all these people that are trying to say Pat Riley need to do this and Pat Riley fucking be doing that, he really doesn't give a shit because he's going to be okay at the end of the day. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler is going to lose tens upon possibly hundreds of millions of dollars because of his arrogance. And I'm really tired of it. I'm tired of all the passive aggressive behavior, changing your hair color, changing your... Stop with all this. Like, Jimmy Butler's supposed to be this rough rider, this tough guy. He's looking real soft right now. He's acting like a sensitive hoe, and I really can't stand it. Jimmy Butler, get over it. Show up to work and earn your money, sir, because you're not getting moved.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of disagree on the Pat Riley perspective. I think he deserves some blame for this because not only are the Miami Heat a big kind of selling point, they're a big hub for the NBA. Like, they are the free agents. They're not really that great financially for the big names that they are doing, like with the revenue and stuff, and they're not winning games. So for him to basically begin to pass for the roster construction he's had, and I know they drafted well in the last couple of drafts. Kello Ware, he's a great draft prospect. I liked him coming out of the draft. This is kind of a weak draft class, so for them to get him, it's definitely a step in the right direction. They haven't really won anything. They haven't really been a serious contender. The Bucks and the Celtics for the entirety of this decade have really been the best teams, and Miami has kind of just snuck in there. And the years that those other teams weren't really the best team. So I think Pat Riley has failed to a certain degree because they're really not doing great financially. They're not really top 10 in revenue. They're not. I think they're outside of the 10. They're around like the 11, 12 range. And they haven't really been winning any championships. So, yeah, I don't think he's really done a great job. Now, I'm not really excusing Jimmy Butler's behavior. I think Jimmy Butler has definitely acted out. It definitely appears to me that Pat Riley is definitely holding on to Jimmy Butler, and they're trying to get more value for him. I've seen the draft picks that they have been, orchestrating. It seems clear to me that they don't want Bradley Beal. So in the multiple team trade deal, if Bradley Beal is engaged in it, he doesn't really have that much value to most of these other teams. I've seen a lot of conversations between the Bucks and some other teams with having draft picks. I heard Damian Lillard's name get thrown around in there by certain select few people. So that was interesting. But for me, this really is just a battle of, as both of y'all said, two guys that, the egos, they just can't allow. And I feel like their egos and basically them entirely has basically contributed somewhat to why the Miami Heat are in not really a good stage of, their franchise. They're not in a good spot where, they're doing great financially or they're doing great record-wise. They're basically in the middle of each. So I think they haven't really done a great job, and they haven't really handled the situation well. Jimmy Butler, I can definitely say, for the games he's been suspended and for the money he has lost after this whole debacle, he has not done this well. We said this in our first video. If y'all want to go check it out, that I think the title was "The Miami Heat has failed Jimmy Butler," but it's really just a both entendre between they failed each other. Like he has failed them with not delivering them a championship, even though I don't think he's that caliber player to be the best player on the team to give you a championship win if the team's not completely loaded, which they haven't really been. And they haven't really supported him with the guys. Damian Lillard, Kevin Durant, these were big names that they failed to reach out on in the prime of Jimmy Butler's career. So I think it's a both issue between both of them. Pat Riley, he's not going to change. That's the thing. He is kind of like Logan Roy to me in succession. He's not going to change. He's still going to be running on his same ideals, not changing any of his practices. And I think that's what's contributing to why they're in the state that they are in. So those are my thoughts, man. I kind of want to say that because I thought Pat Riley, he shouldn't be released from any blame because he is at fault for this too. He's at fault for this. This is a him and Jimmy Butler issue. and just an organizational issue, period. I think they just have not ran things well. And as good as they've drafted, they haven't really gotten a superstar or a star caliber player. Now, Tyler Hero has been playing really good ball this season, and he's threatening on being the All-Star reserve. But that's been Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, who I think are middling all-stars. That's been all they had. They haven't really had a guy who can explode like that. A guy to even the caliber of Jimmy Butler, I believe. They haven't really drafted one of those guys. They haven't really hooked on like a generational prospect. And you're not going to be getting a generational prospect if you're drafting middle in the line order, which they have been because they've been placing like 8th seed every year. They've been in the play-in every single year. So they haven't really been able to get high draft picks. So that's where I come to believe they're in just a bad state, both financially and play-wise, I believe.